Nick speaking, and welcome to an update for Project Tega, which is me basically doing 3 projects in one go. I've done a lot of work, mainly on the warriors, which I'll come to in a minute. But first of all, the 2 Battlefleet Gothic ships which I'm doing, these little ones here. Since the last video, I've just filed them down. I've magnetised them, got their bases ready, and they're all ready to be primed basically. I'm not going to glue that on until the end, but that would sit on there, and both of those are done, as you can see. So that's those there. The Shadow Specters, which is part of this project to build them, haven't actually done a great deal, but what I have done is I've segregated them into their own respective bits and put them in a bag, and I've numbered them, so that's guy number 5. That's what I've done on those. As I said, I put most of the work into these warriors. Okay, I had 12 warriors in total. I had 9 which were mine, and 3 which, well, I say mine, they were second hand, but that I owned them. And 3 of them I had, which I bought second hand recently, and they were just covered in paint. So that's these 3 guys. So what I did is I got my Biostrip 20, which is absolutely fantastic stuff. And I soaked this guy in there for 1 hour only, and as you can see, pretty much all the bits have come off. I mean, if I wanted to get this pure clean, I could put it into there much longer, but I don't need to do that. My paint scheme's it's basically just black with some yellow highlights. So what I've got here is absolutely fine. So I stripped them down, and then I went in and I did a load of repairs. Like this guy had to have a new head because it was broken. I had a couple of scything talons that were broken, which I just had to tidy up. So that's what I did. And then after that, I was working out how to get the most out of my minis in terms of the units, etc. So originally, as I said, I had 9, which was 3 venom cannons, which are these guys. And all of my guys had extended carapaces on, so let me just show you. This section here on the shoulder and this section on the shoulder. In the time when I built these, they were, that was the in thing to have the extended carapace. It helped you save. Now these guys, which I got recently second hand, they didn't have an extended carapace, so I thought I'd take advantage of that and use that to mark a unit. So what I did is I took this guy here and just trying to pick up precariously because it's all magnetised. Yeah, I used this guy and I basically ripped the arms off to take the extended carapaces off. So this guy here with the venom cannon doesn't have an extended carapace, so that's from that unit, the 4 guys. And in ripping his bits off, there was a little bit of damage, so I had to do some repairs. This is his scything talon, which broke off at the elbow joint, so I had to put a new arm section in there. And then when I was doing that, as I'd ripped them off, I thought I might as well magnetise them. So that's magnetised, and then this arm's magnetised, no damage on that. And then I magnetised the venom cannon, and the reason why I did that is because I want to give myself a few options really. So the first option would be to have the if I can remember what it's called, Stranglethorn, is it? Oh, I always get confused with the Tyranid gun names. Yeah, the other gun basically. So I've got that option to have that, but more importantly for me was to turn him into a Tyranid Prime. So what I actually did is I took the head off, and you'll notice that this guy is the only one with this pointy arrow tongue. All the others just got normal tongue. So I did that on purpose so that I could see which model was all magnetised up. I've actually taken his head off as well, and I've done a few conversions to make it into a Tyranid Prime. So first of all, let's put the Death Spitter on. So I made a Death Spitter up, like so. I then made a new head for him. I took a warrior's head and I shaved it right off, and I stuck it onto this other head. I'm not 100% sure what this is. I got it from my bits box. I think it might be a Ravener head. But as you can see, I did a lot of work just carving that shape out. Put it on, and looks quite good. So that's magnetised on there. It's got a funky big head now. And then I did this conversion. This is from a Venom Thropes. I've got a Venom Thropes, and amazingly I had an extra one of those in. So that was ages ago, but I always knew I was going to make this into a Lash Whip for my Prime. So I just got one of these gun hands and I just cut it off and put on his Lash Whip. So there you go, he has his Lash Whip. And then this little conversion here was for a bone sword, which I sort of did this off the cuff really. It's a bit of a mismatch, but I'm basically made the sword itself out of a large scything talon. Put a little Morlock piece on the bottom. This little wire section is from this hand here, that wire piece there. And then I put on this arm which was here, that's from a Death Spitter arm, that one there. And then I just magnetised it up with a magnet, and that gives me my bone sword. So that is my Tyranid Prime. It's not the most amazing conversion, but it's a bit rough and ready, but it does the job. So yeah, so I did that. So let's just get this back into a normal warrior, and I can carry on talking about what else I've done. Where are you? So heavy venom cannon, in you go. Scything talon and a scything talon. Right. Okay, so that gives me my three units of 4, and then I thought, well, I might as well go the opposite to that and maybe have 4 units of 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark them up when I paint them with different stuff with the bases, but take one from out of there, one from out of there, and then one from out of here. And then what I did is, which guy is it? Yeah, okay, this one. This guy, I magnetised his Death Spitter, so I thought I could put the the other gun, Barbed Strangler, that's the word. Okay, so I'm going to put the Barbed Strangler into here from the Tyranid Prime, and then that gives me another unit. So now I've got 4 units of 3, and of course I could have potentially, with this one being magnetised on his arm, I could take that off, and then I could put his Death Spitter in, and I can now have, if I take this one off, put his Venom Cannon on, yeah, it gets a bit confusing this, but there you go. So now I can have, actually he needs a Death Spitter, there you go. One Venom Cannon there, one in there, so that gives me now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. You get my drift. I can have 2 units of 6. Obviously I can also have 1 unit of 9. So I've got 1 unit of 9, 2 units of 6, 3 units of 4, or 4 units of 3. Or from that big bunch of warriors, just from basically having to think about how I'm going to get the most out of the minis. Okay, so after all, hopefully that didn't bore you. Right, okay, so now I'm going to prime these guys up and I'm going to start painting. Okay, so that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and more to come.